Welcome to Dynamo Dynamics, your winning goals to digital dominance. I'm your host, Danny Perry, and it's been a while. We have had 3 matches in 2 competitions with 2 different formations, so there's a lot to talk about. With me, as always, is my guy, Kai Peterson. So, Kai, where do we want to get started at today?
I think we'll start with losing twice to our rivals. So we ended our last episode losing to Dallas, and that was a little disheartening because they were sitting pretty low on the table. But we came back and we ended with drawing a win in MLS, so we can get started with the first game.
Yeah, that 2-game losing streak to our Texas rivals was obviously disappointing. However, we did have the return of one Mr. Hector Herrera to the lineups in the against St. Louis City, and I think it made an immediate difference.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't get the win, you can look at the stats and see the difference. Taking a look, 22 shots, 7 on target, 68% possession, 86% passing accuracy. I mean, obviously something changed in the midfield with Hector Herrera coming back. Their biggest name player.
Looking at those stats, it seems like we should have scored a few goals with 22 shots, 7 on target, and then the possession too. That's a lot.
The shots were quality, though. It seemed from watching the match, there were really good. The shots were on target. However, we weren't hitting them. I have a question to ask you, though, Kai. Does MLS practice long-distance shots more than any other league in the whole world?
Oh, yeah. I see more shots taken past 35 yards than I ever have. It's crazy.
But it's amazing that so many of them are actually on target, and they score more than La Liga or the Premier League.
Any other league I've ever watched, they take a shot out anywhere from past 35 yards. It's most of the time they sky it. And in MLS, they're hard shots on target. It's crazy.
It's insane. Unfortunately, none of those shots went in this match, so it was a 0-0 draw to St. Louis City, but it did break the losing streak.
Yeah.
A
point's a point.
A point's a point. Exactly.
After coming off 2 losses to our rivals, we had to switch up something, and honestly, I think Hector Herrera, like you said, had a really big impact, and even just getting a draw was a win after those 2 weeks.
So after a 0-0 draw, we go into the U.S. Open Cup competition, not MLS, against Detroit City, a USL team, a league below, who have already proven to be giant killers in this competition, coming up against the Dynamo.
And we're the reigning champs.
And we're still holding. I'm wearing the jersey, right?
But
what happened?
We got off to a great start. 6th minute, Dorsey scored off a corner, and it's like looking great. We had a lot of shot attempts that game as well. We scored in the 31st minute too, and that was a really good built-up goal. But then I don't think it's just the MLS. I think it's the United States soccer leagues because Detroit City scored a screamer.
Off of a defended corner, though, right?
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was, and it was 30 yards if it was a yard. So that was insane. Insane.
We went into the half up 2-1, looking good, and we also switched our formation. We ran a 4-3-3, which I liked. We scored more, but we also gave up more goals because we had a 2-goal lead. 2-goal lead's a dangerous one because you get complacent, and it's scary because it really just takes 1 goal for the other team to feel like they're back in the game. And then they
got it right before the half.
Yeah, they went to the locker room excited, probably saying, "All right, we're only 1 down, we're ready to go." And then they came back and they leveled it. They leveled it 2-2. But then 2 minutes later, we retaliated and we went back up 3-2. And then 5 or 6 minutes after, I think in the 83rd minute, they put another one away to tie it. So it was a lot of goals.
A lot of goals. So a tie game at the end, leading into extra time, play out the entire extra periods, and a penalty shootout.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a penalty shootout go that long?
Don't think so. Don't think so, at least. 10-9.
10-9.
That's a lot of penalties.
That's which unfortunately we ended up on the negative side of. So, Detroit City marches on. Dynamo crash out of the U.S. Open Cup. We are no longer still holding. I love the jersey, so I'm going to keep wearing it. But we're no longer in the competition, so that was a bummer. An astonishing 30 shots in that game for the Dynamo.
Yeah.
Relatively even on possession, but ultimately we end up losing, and we are out of the U.S. Open Cup for this year. Detroit City, hey, rock on, man. You know, Detroit Rock City, isn't that a song? Yeah, it is. Kiss. But on to the next. Following that disappointment, we are back to face Sporting Kansas City. So, well, we're not back. We went to Kansas City to face Sporting Kansas City, and trying to get back on track. So,
and it looks like we did. We came out 2-1. That's a good win. I think the goals are going to start coming more after seeing Herrera come back into the lineup, and I think even though we lost to Detroit City, I think scoring 3 goals is a big plus for us because we were only putting 1 away, maybe 2 if we were lucky. So I think it's refreshing to see that we scored 3 and then 2 in the next match. So
well, you can't really just gloss over that Herrera goal.
I can't.
The opener was insane.
Yeah.
After
it was off a corner, and we didn't cross it into the box. We played, and he just finessed it in, just curved it in. It was beautiful.
It was actually quite beautiful. Go check the highlights.
Yeah.
It was spectacular. However, we still made it tight for ourselves as usual.
Yeah.
So luckily got away with the win. But on the defensive side, I think in the midfield and up front we found something. I think the midfield has solidified with Herrera returning to his spot. Kowalczyk up front seems to be getting that run of games that we've talked about a lot over the last few weeks. And from an attacking perspective, I think something's happening there.
Yeah. Something's clicking.
Something's clicking.
And, I don't even think it's the formation because we went back to the 4-2-3-1, and we're still shooting the ball a lot. And we're getting not just shooting a lot, we're getting good opportunities. So something's working. Maybe it's Hector Herrera.
And
I think it is.
I think it is. I think it is. That would be the correlation between all 3 of these matches. However, do you think the defense is getting a little shaky at the same time that the attack is solidifying?
A little bit. I think their form is just going down a little bit right now. But Steve Clark still had a great save at the end of the game. He probably was his best save of the season in the 88th minute. But
that preserved the victory. At that point of the match, that was a great save.
It did, but I kind of agree. I think our defenders are kind of slowly getting out of form. They were in great form to start the season, which helped a lot because when we weren't scoring, it was tough because we needed the defense. But it also couldn't. It may not be our defenders are out of form. It could be just in competitions. Since it's been going on for a while, the attackers and the midfielders are really comfortable in every team, so they could just be having better opportunities and just feeling midfielders and attackers are just in form now. Not just Dynamo. It could be every team. So I think that could be it. Possible.
Well, let's hope that the defense solidifies. Get back to where we need to be.
We need to for the next 2 weeks, or the next 4 weeks, really.
Most definitely. If you're looking at the standings, the Dynamo are currently in 7th place in the Western Conference, sitting right behind Colorado, right above Austin.
Yeah,
and
we have Austin.
Looking at our next 4 matches, we have the Copa de Texas and the I-45 Derby coming up again. So Austin and Dallas. Austin midweek and Dallas at the weekend, followed by the LA Galaxy. Then followed by Colorado.
And we just took 2. We lost 2 to Austin and Dallas. So it's like we need to get those back. And we're away against Austin, but I think we're fitting together. Everything's kind of working out. So I think we'll be okay, even though we're playing away. And then Dallas at home, I think we'll be good. We'll be ready.
And the Galaxy and Colorado, however, so Colorado's sitting above us in the standings. So these 4 matches are hugely important for how the season's going to turn out for the for the playoffs and ultimately what we're going to achieve, this seems to be a critical stretch.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we definitely need to take a few points here. We need to, I'd love for us to win all four. Realistically, not sure if that's going to happen, but if we just don't lose, we have to draw or win. Because it's I mean, how we're playing midweek and the weekend, our players are going to be, their fitness levels are just going to be a little lower for this week. It's a lot of football being played, but I think a draw is a win, but a win's huge just coming out for these next matches.
Sitting on 17 points, and the Galaxy coming in currently in third
They're
with 20
always
points,
good.
and they're always good. It would be quite a thing
Yeah.
to take all 12 points over these next four matches. That may be a bit optimistic, though. What do you say?
I think so too. I think maybe a bit optimistic, but I'd like to see us beat both of the Texas teams. And
Well, let's do our predictions for Austin for midweek and Dallas this weekend.
so I got midweek Austin. I have us winning 2-1, and then against Dallas, I have us winning 2-1 as well.
2-1 and 2-1. I like it. I like it. I'm going 1-0 Austin because it's away, and I think our defense is going to refine its form. And for the Dallas at home, I think there's a little revenge factor that's going to come into this one, and I'm going 2-0.
I think I gave us two. I think we have a really good chance against Austin because I watched us play live. So I think we really passed the eye test that game, and we peppered their goalie. So I think we could even win by more than 2-1. But I'd be staying
change your
safe.
prediction?
No, I'm going to stay safe with 2-1. We're playing away, but I think we should be fine there.
All right, perfect. Well, that pretty much, as amazing as it sounds, we got caught up with the Dynamo, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk Champions League. So, how you feeling?
Heartbroken.
Want to elaborate on that?
Not really. Well, I can. Bayern lost to Real Madrid in a very interesting fashion. You know, Real Madrid was the better team at the given day, but the referees were on Real Madrid's side in the 109th minute.
Well, I don't know about that, but I will. That was a questionable decision to blow the whistle at that stage of the match and the ball ultimately went into the net, which would have leveled it and changed everything, obviously. But the
whole game, Real Madrid was controlling. They were the better team, really, but it just sucks having to have a what if moment. And
agreed.
The referee really blew the whistle too early in a big stage and late in the game. It's kind of like,
yeah. If there's ever a time where you swallow the whistle,
he also apologized after the game and said it was a mistake. Where you're at the highest level of refereeing, why are you making a little mistake like that? It really hurts. It really hurts as a fan.
Well, it sounds cliche, but there's always next year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we have a big one today. We would be remiss. Premier League is coming to a close as well. One more weekend, and one big match today as we film this between Tottenham and Manchester City, which has big ramifications for my team, Arsenal.
Yeah.
That if our biggest rivals, Tottenham, beat Man City today, it puts us in the pole position to win the title. But there's a lot of talk from our rivals that they would rather see their team lose than hand us an opportunity to win the title. Is that insane?
No, but yes. No, because they love their team so much. They love their team so much they hate Arsenal just as much as they love their team.
I think they may hate Arsenal more than they love.
Probably so, but I would love to see you chant for Tottenham today. Yeah. I really want to see it, so that's what I'm excited for.
Well, you'll never hear me say this ever again, probably in life, but come on, you Spurs. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this week of Dynamo Dynamics. Hope you've enjoyed the show. We definitely stay tuned and, what else?
Follow us on all our social medias and get ready for next week's episode.
All right, perfect. Thanks. We'll see you next time.